There's something that customers do that I'm not a fan of. I had someone come in today and it's weird. It's like they say they're excited. Okay, like they've seen my signs on the street. In this particular case, they've wanted to come in. They finally came in and they seem kind of jazzed or excited, at least uh, positive about it. And yeah, I wanted to come in. Oh, do you, and he asked a weird question like, do you work, what do you say? Do you work out of this space? Uh, I think he used another verb, but it was essentially that. Do you work out of this space? And it's these questions leave me speechless because I'm like, well, no, I sleep here. Does it look, you see my bed where the books are, I mean, obviously, I don't understand that question. Do you guys understand that question? So that was, I get quite weird questions like that, as if, I don't know what it is, as if it's a weird idea that I'm working out of this space. And then, but the bigger part is, or the bigger point is that then he's kind of excited and he's like, yeah, I collect. And then this is another thing that people do. So he did this, which I've had happen before, where he's like simultaneously excited about being here. Oh, I've wanted to come. And then he says like, oh, I collect, is what he said. I collect old heavy metal albums. And he's looking at the records and I'm like, oh yeah. So you collect one of the hardest things to find, period. Now, I'm talking about out in the wild. Now, if you go online, sure, you can find some heavy metal, I don't know, 70s, 80s heavy metal, rock, hard rock or heavy metal, I guess, specifically, albums, records. And you're more than likely, for most of them, you're going to pay a lot of money, depending. But my point is that's a niche for records that I've rarely seen. And I've been selling records now in the store for 4 years, but before that I was selling a lot of records on Amazon. I sold hundreds of records on Amazon, FBA actually, starting 8 years ago. So, probably 8-ish years ago. Did that for a couple years. So I've been searching for and going through a lot of records, and there's just very, very few heavy metal records, from back in the day, from like 80s and 70s that I've come across. Come across some, but not that many. Why? Because most people tend to keep them, and so you don't see them out in the wild. You don't see them. People don't get rid of them. They don't, unless someone dies, they don't just donate their heavy metal records to the thrift store or give them to me. So this is just like an example of this where, of course, the thing they're looking for is one of the hardest things to find. It could have been, another one is like rap records. Well, that's another one that I've rarely found. Punk rock records. That's another one. It's just like, or someone will be like, oh, I only look for Criterion Collection DVDs, which I just so happened to find one yesterday. And I do have someone who does come in. He's probably going to see this video. But, just as an example of somebody who, or of something that someone's looking for that is really hard to find. It could be a certain CD. I forgot what those CDs are called that are super rare. But just in this example, it was, what he said, the heavy metal stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't have that. And if you go to any record store, if they have it, it's going to be really expensive, So, yeah. And then, so my overall point is, not only does he say that, but then he ends up walking around for like 5 minutes and then leaves empty-handed and seems kind of down about it. I mean, not down, like he wasn't sad, but he didn't have the same level of excitement as when he walked in. He was friendly and cordial and all that. I'm not saying he was a jerk or mean, but you come in and you're kind of excited, and then you're looking for one particular thing, and I don't know, he might have his eye on some other stuff or other things that he's interested in, but that's the thing he mentions to me out loud, and then walks away empty-handed. And I just had a lot of people, not a lot, but I've had a good amount of people that do take a similar type of path. And it's just like one of those things that's a pet peeve. It's kind of a very specific pet peeve, but to me, it kind of plays into the whole like you walk in here and don't buy anything, which I'm always amazed by. I understand. It makes sense to me if you walk into like my bookstore that's only books and walk away without anything because it's only books, right? Like books are not for everybody. Although why would you walk in if you weren't interested in books? That's another viable point that I've just thought of right now. but it does make sense, you know. But if you walk in here, not only do I have a good amount of books, I understand I'm not going to have a book for every single book lover, reader, or what they're looking for, but I have a good amount. I have several thousand books, including kids, etc. I have over like 6,000 CDs. I've got a couple thousand, I don't know exactly how many records. And then I've got tons of DVDs, Blu-rays, even video games, even VHS tapes, even cassette tapes, etc., even audiobooks, guys. And I don't understand why someone walks in here or how someone walks in here and doesn't buy anything. Like, why would they walk in? They know what I'm selling. I'm not selling shoes. I'm not selling furniture, books. And that's what my sign says. Media sale. But it also says books. It also says DVDs. It also says all that kind of stuff, records. So I understand, you know, generally, like, if someone's looking for something, I've had this happen a while, or more than a few times, something very, very, very specific. And if I don't have it, then that's all they're looking for. They're not looking for anything else. They're not going to browse or stumble upon anything else. But generally, you know, someone that's not asking me for something specifically, doesn't look like they're looking for something specific, is going to walk in and then walk out without anything. That's always odd to me. But hey, you know, it's everyone has the right to do that. But that's not really, that's a little annoyance. But my pet peeve is what I'm talking about is being excited and then coming in and then asking for something very specific that's very, very rare, hard to find, or very expensive. If I would have it, like if I had a Metallica record, or what do you call it, Quiet Riot, or Twisted Sister, or whatever, you know, that I was selling for $100, you know, maybe he'd buy it, but it's going to be expensive if I have it, more than likely. I don't know what those records go for specifically, but you get my point. So that's just one pet peeve that I just want to get off my chest, which is very kind of maybe odd or oddly specific, but let me know. Yeah. So I thought I would say that. And today was a little slow in the store. It happens. Yesterday was busier. That's what it is with retail. That's what it is with eBay. eBay for me has been slow the last like 4 days. I did make 2 sales today. One of a book that I just listed yesterday, which is always great. And it was $50 sale, so that was really nice. But yeah, you know, it happens, right? Things are going to be slow. That's another topic for another video. But that's what's on my mind as well, aside from this pet peeve. So I'll end the video here. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Have a great weekend or great day.